What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. My name is Sam Chipek. If you're new to this channel, then please hit that subscribe button right now. Now today we are doing a tier ranking video based on whether we should keep or get rid of the current squad players that we have. It's fair to say we've had a terrible season on paper. It's going to be very interesting on the tier maker what actually happens. So now let's get on to this, ranking the current Tottenham players. And the first one now is Ben Davies. Now, Ben Davies, we have had him since, I believe, the 2014-15 season. We've seen some up and down performances from him. I'd say since the return of lockdown, he's been actually fairly good. He's managed to keep 4 clean sheets all season for us in the Premier League, with 8 wins and 5 losses for each of those starts that he's had. Tackle success is 54%. So I wouldn't say he's a first team player, but I've been impressed with him. I've been unimpressed with him as the season's gone by. Now, obviously that shocking penalty he gave away against Leipzig, which pretty much cost us the first leg. But then if you overlook that, he's actually done in some games, he's done a solid defensive job. Where am I going to put Ben Davies? We do need a new left back, to be fair. So I'm going to put him in squad depth. I think that's very fair. All right, next is Cameron Carter-Vickers, and there's not really a lot to say about him, to be honest. You know, he's a youth, he's academy player. You know, the guy's now in past 20 now, I think, and he's still not making it into football, even with the teams that he's been loaned to. Yeah, sorry, it's going to be sell. There's really not much you can talk about Cameron Carter-Vickers. Right, next is our player that's currently loaned, Danny Rose. Now, I don't think Danny Rose is going to want to come back to Tottenham, to be fair. I think he's fairly happy at Newcastle. I'd say as well that, you know, he has lost it a bit. And don't get me wrong, you know, I've absolutely loved Danny Rose, and I still do. But I feel like he has gone so past it and has gone so downhill. You know, he's not the same quick, pacey left back, the tracking left back, the one who isn't afraid to go attacking either. You know, we've lost so much of the prime Danny Rose that we've seen. You know, arguably who was one of the best English left backs in the Premier League at one point. So for me, Danny Rose is going to have to be sold. But I do thank him a lot for what he's done for the club, and I do wish him the best at Newcastle. Right, next is Davinson Sanchez. Now, Davinson Sanchez is a bit of a mixture amongst Tottenham fans. On the one hand, yes, I do think we wasted some slight money. He doesn't really match the price tag to what we signed him as. Having said that, though, you know, despite, you know, some of the awful mistakes he's pulled out on, like against Sheffield United, for instance. And this is the thing as well, I don't want to cherry pick too much on bad games and then say like, oh, we got to sell him. Because I have actually seen some good moments from Davinson Sanchez. He's very pacey and very quick for a centre-back, which is useful because, you know, if he's out of position, he can run back quickly and get back into position and also, you know, be able to contain some counter-attacking football if he was to, you know, work a bit more on that. He's made 29 appearances for us this season, I believe. And, okay, under Davinson Sanchez, when he's been playing, you know, there's been 37 goals conceded. But his tackle success has been 61%, which shows, you know, that he can be ruthless when it comes to tackling. And you've seen that for yourself. For me, you know, I would put him in squad depth because we do need to sign another centre-back. And, yeah, I'll get back to the other centre-backs a bit later. Right, next is Dele Alli. Now, a lot of Tottenham fans have been complaining about Dele Alli's performances. However, if we actually look at how he's done as a midfielder, that is, he's had 25 appearances because he has gone through some injuries. And in those 25 appearances, he has done 4 assists and 8 goals. And that isn't actually too bad on paper. You look at the statistics, he's still actually done something. And also, if you want to look at this even further, these statistics are actually better than Leicester City's James Maddison's statistics. And James Maddison is meant to be highly rated as a central attacking midfielder. I think it's too reactionary if we were to just sell Dele Alli. It's between squad depth and keep. Just because of the season itself, you know, because I don't want to like tolerate, you know, having one bad season, because he has had some shocking moments. I'm going to stick him on squad depth for the sake of an argument that we actually sign someone to his position who can maybe provide competition for that starting spot, just for the sake of that. Right, next is Eric Dier. Now, I am not a huge fan of Eric Dier myself personally. Don't get me wrong, I feel like Eric Dier, since the return of lockdown, has done fairly okay. I feel like Tottenham fans are overhyping it a little bit. You know, the thing with Eric Dier is he's an old-fashioned centre-back, and now that Jose Mourinho is starting to get... We've seen the best football under Jose Mourinho this season, you know, in terms of getting the best results, and you see Dier doing well. Because as he's an old-fashioned centre-back, this defensive style of play does work for him, but I still feel like he is incredibly clumsy. As much as I'm not a fan of Eric Dier, I don't think we should straight up sell him. However, I feel like we should put him on could cash in, because if someone just comes through with a bid and wants Eric Dier and it's a lot of money, for example, I doubt that would happen. You know, you could cash in on that. So I'll put Dier for now on could cash in. Right, next up is Eric Lamela. Now, we've had Eric Lamela for 7 years now, and more statistics. He has made 154 appearances in 7 years, because he's had 2 seasons where he's been out for almost the entire season. In those 154 appearances, he's scored 16 goals and has made 23 assists. If you look at Lamela as well, you know, he's too much of a dirty player. You know, giving away, you know, needless tackles, needless fouls. All right, I've seen that he does well to break up the play, but, you know, whether we're putting him as a winger or as a central attacking midfielder, I don't want to see that. I want to see someone be creative, and I don't feel Lamela is creative enough. And honestly, I feel like he's overstayed his welcome. I think Lamela has to go, to be honest. So I'm sticking Lamela on sell. Next is Paulo Gazzaniga. Now, Paulo Gazzaniga had to step up this season for Hugo Lloris when he got injured against Brighton. I was there right behind it. You know, you look at the Liverpool game where we lost 2-1. He actually pulled some very, very decent saves. But then when you look at Chelsea as well, he did an absolute shocking mistake to give away a penalty and was, in my opinion, very lucky not to be sent off. The way, you know, it was like a kung fu kick, the way he went in onto, was it Tammy Abraham or Willian? I can't even remember. Having said that, though, he also saved a penalty against Watford, I believe. So, you know, we've seen Gazzaniga very hit and miss. You know, sometimes he can have absolute brilliant games, and other times he can have a nightmare of a performance for a goalkeeper. There's no in between. End of the day, he is a second keeper. He's never going to, like, be able to go past the first keeper for first team football. I feel like Gazzaniga... Yeah, I feel like we should just stick him in squad depth. Can't see us going for a second keeper. Next is Gedson Fernandes. Now, he's a loan player. I accept that, so we don't officially own him. It's an option to buy as well for £54 million, but the way I'm seeing this is he is definitely 100% not worth £54 million. We signed the wrong Fernandes, you know. We should have 100% gone for Bruno Fernandes. That would have definitely given Dele Alli the competition. Like, the thing with Gedson is he's got good dribbling, but, you know, too many misplaced passes, not really effective crosses. I just don't rate the guy at all, and I might be harsh, but I put him on sell, but what I mean is just terminate the loan, because I really don't see what he's doing here. Right, next is Giovani Lo Celso. Gio Lo Celso. Brilliant player, really. You know what? I know that he doesn't have the highest of goal assist ratios, but come on, man. Look at his playmaking role. He's been fantastic, I felt, this season. You know, almost every game, I feel like I've seen him give it 100%. He's ruthless in the middle. And the thing is, we've kept on seeing him play deep. I want to see him play more attacking as a cam, almost. So, you know, I feel like this season, Gio Lo Celso has been played out of position a bit. You know, having to play deep. Because I think he can do so much better attacking. But also, like I said, you've got to look at the playmaking role and his playmaking ability he has had to offer for the squad. I feel like he's been the best signing in the transfer window of last season. So, yeah, keep. Definitely keep. Without a shadow of a doubt. Right, next is one of our own, Harry Kane. Harry Kane, who's been injured this season and yet still manages to score goals consistently and was only 5 goals off behind Golden Boot. Just imagine if he didn't get injured. You know, Harry Kane's goal scoring ability is just world class. And I don't care what team you support, you would want Harry Kane at your team banging in those goals. Don't even deny it. All right, all this slander against Harry Kane, I don't even get it. You just either don't follow football or you're an Arsenal fan. That's how I see it. Harry Kane is a world-class striker. He is going on hands off. Right, next is Harry Winks. Now, the thing about Harry Winks is that he was always rated at the start when he first started coming into first team football, and his ability, you know, to keep possession, pass the ball. The problem with Harry Winks though is that I feel like it only works with him for one formation, and he is too limited. Sometimes you just see him passing the ball sideways and not enough forwards, and that's all you can expect from Harry Winks. He's not a holding midfielder either. You know, look how he played against Brighton when we lost 3-0. You know, the man was absolutely struggling. I don't want to get rid of Harry Winks personally. You know, I feel like, you know, I've seen a lot of games where I felt like he's not good enough. But these types of players can still be used for squad depth. You know, we need another midfielder anyway. So I'm going to stick Harry Winks on squad depth. Right, next is the very man that has pretty much helped me build a career out of YouTube and getting me views and that. It's Heung-min Son. You know what it is? I can't decide who is our best player. It's either Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, and yeah, you know where I'm going to put Heung-min Son. I'm hands off. Like, you can't debate that. The thing about Heung-min Son is that he is so rapid, he is so hard-working, and he always gives his 150%, I feel. You know, even games where he's gone missing and absent, you know, you still see Son trying to pull something off creatively in the attacking sense. You cannot sell a player like Heung-min Son. Right, next is Hugo Lloris. Now, I have been quite critical about Hugo Lloris a lot. But the thing about Hugo Lloris is that since the return of lockdown, he has been one of our best players. I would have said personally before lockdown, maybe it's time to cash Lloris in, but nah. Hugo Lloris stays. I'm putting him on keep. Okay, so next is Jack Clarke. Can't say too much about him because the player hasn't even played for us yet. But there's not a lot to say on him. Got to stick him on squad depth, I feel. Right, next is Juan Foyth. The problem with Juan Foyth is that as a centre-back, he doesn't offer enough. You know, all I see him do is, you know, good at passing, pinging the ball, but, you know, physically, he isn't good enough as a centre-back. He's had a few good games and too many awful performances. I'm putting Foyth on sell. Now, Kyle Walker-Peters, he's had a good season at Southampton. Problem is, though, he's not played well for us at all. I don't know if it's a style of football or whatever, but Kyle Walker-Peters, I feel, isn't good enough for us anymore. I feel like he's too slow as a right back. You know, I know against Southampton, he absolutely pocketed Sterling, but you look at Man City versus Tottenham start of the season, it was the complete opposite. Sterling was completely ripping Kyle Walker-Peters to shreds. I just don't... I think Southampton should just have him, to be honest, because I don't think it's going to work for us keeping hold of Kyle Walker-Peters, so... sticking him on sell. Lucas Moura. I feel like Lucas Moura, since the return of lockdown, has been brilliant momentum-wise. He's had a good run of games. And it's just a shame that the season's ended, because I feel like, you know, if it carries on, we could see the even better of Lucas Moura performance-wise. The thing about Lucas Moura is, as well, is that, you know, if we put him on the bench and he comes on, I would never feel disappointed to see Lucas Moura come on. For me, it's between squad depth and keep. But I feel like I'm going to put Lucas Moura on keep. Alright, next is Moussa Sissoko. I feel like Moussa Sissoko's best season was last season, but then after that, just slowly and slowly. But wait, when I say last season, I mean the 2018-19 season, but ever since that, I feel like his performances have been going slowly and slowly and slowly down. Similar with Winks, I feel like Sissoko is too limited as a midfielder. Doesn't offer enough, in my opinion. I feel like Sissoko is going to go on squad depth for me. Right, now we're entering controversial. Tanguy Ndombele. Now, he is our most expensive signing, and at first, you know, under Pochettino, as he is a Pochettino signing, he was doing well, but it went slowly downhill. And the problem is that Ndombele has got great natural ability, but work ethic-wise is just so awful. I don't know what's happened to the guy, but quite frankly, I've not been impressed, and I don't want to personally keep hold of players that aren't going to give their 100% or don't even want to play for the club anymore. I feel like it's a bit too reactionary to just try and get rid of Ndombele, because I've seen the best of him, but I've also seen, quite frankly, the worst of him, like against Burnley. You know, that was a sorry show of performance that he showed. I'm going to stick Ndombele on cash in. If we're going to keep hold of him, let's keep hold of him and try and use him to the best. But if someone like Barcelona, you know, bids for more than we bidded for him, then I say business is business and just sell him. Right, next is Oliver Skipp. Now, here's an interesting stat about Oliver Skipp. Every single Premier League match that he has played, he has not been part of a losing side. He's a young player, you know. He's a young player who we can only see him get better from there. Definitely squad depth for me. Right, next is Ryan Sessegnon. Now, we signed Ryan Sessegnon from a relegated Fulham. Fulham fans, a lot of them were saying, well, they don't even rate Ryan Sessegnon, so you can go for him. The thing with Ryan Sessegnon is he is only just recently turned 20. He's a young player. The problem with Ryan Sessegnon is I don't think he can offer us anything defensively because he doesn't take his man on. But it's quite clear that his acceleration is there still in him and he needs to work on his attacking. It's too premature to just want to get rid of Sessegnon like that. I feel that squad depth, is acceptable. I don't think we should just get rid of the guy just yet. Next is Serge Aurier. Now, look, I've been so critical of Serge Aurier. I've not been happy with the way he's been performing as a right back. You know, being so defensively inept at times. But I do have to appreciate and admire that he does take his role and his job seriously after what he has gone through. It doesn't take away of the shambles of performances that he has done. But I will give him the benefit that since the return of lockdown, he's had two or three very good performances as a right back. So, you know, he is too much hit and miss. I don't think we should straight up sell him. I would put him on... It's between squad depth and could cash in. I'd say I'd put him on could cash in. Right, next is Steven Bergwijn. Now, Steven Bergwijn is a signing from January, and he scored on his debut. And the thing about Bergwijn is that, you know, when you sign players from the Dutch league, you never know if they will make it or not. It's make or break for them, essentially speaking. I would say he's definitely made it. He's made it to prove that he can play at Premier League level. I think with Steven Bergwijn, it's fair to say we should put him on keep. You know, definitely put him on keep. Next is Tanganga. Now, Tanganga has been absolutely solid since his introduction into first team football. He is quick. He is also very versatile. He can play in all defensive positions. I wouldn't even put him on squad depth. I'd put him on keep. There's something about Tanganga that I really like, and I honestly hope that we can see even better of him. Now, the last player is Toby Alderweireld. Toby Alderweireld, I feel, has had a bit of a rocky season, but he has still proven that he is our best centre-back. And I still cannot get my head around why you would ever start Eric Dier or Davinson Sanchez over Toby Alderweireld. Toby Alderweireld has got easily another year left in him. He's recently signed a 3-year contract as well, which goes to show that his commitments are with the club. I would say definitely put on keep. As you can see, I don't feel very positive overall about the entire squad. So let me know in the comments if you agree with this, or who would you have put and where and why. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.